Did you know that during World War II, doctors performed surgery on fully conscious prisoners just to see what would happen? In 1937, Dr. Shiro Ishii built what looked like a normal medical facility in Harbin, China. But behind those walls, Unit 731 conducted the most horrific human experiments in history. They called their victims logs to make the work easier. Prisoners had their limbs frozen solid, then thawed with boiling water to study frostbite. Others were injected with plague bacteria and dissected while still alive to watch the disease spread. No anesthesia was ever used. The screams echoed through the halls daily. Over 10,000 people died in these experiments. When the war ended, something shocking happened. Instead of prosecution, the United States gave every doctor complete immunity. In exchange, they wanted all the research data for their own biological weapons program. Dr. Ishii lived peacefully until 1959, never facing justice. The victims were forgotten, but their suffering advanced American military science for decades. Did you know 9 experienced hikers died after cutting their way out of their own tent in -30°C weather? In February 1959, a search team discovered an abandoned campsite in Russia's Ural Mountains. The tent was sliced open from the inside. Footprints led away into the frozen wilderness, but the hikers had fled barefoot into the deadly cold. 3 weeks later, searchers found the bodies scattered across the mountain. What they discovered made no sense. 2 victims had crushed rib cages with no external injuries. Their bones were shattered from the inside. Others were missing eyes and tongues, torn out by some unknown force. Even stranger, their clothing showed traces of radiation. The survivors had built a makeshift shelter in the snow, but their bodies were arranged in bizarre positions. The Soviet government classified everything for decades. In 2020, officials finally claimed it was an avalanche caused by unusual winds. But the evidence still doesn't add up. What really happened on Dyatlov Pass remains one of history's most disturbing mysteries. Did you know that in the 1920s, women literally glowed in the dark from their jobs? Female factory workers painted watch dials with radium paint, making timepieces that glowed beautifully in darkness. The job seemed glamorous. The paint sparkled like diamonds, and supervisors taught them the lip, dip, paint technique. They were told to lick their brushes to get fine points for precision work. What they didn't know was that radium was slowly killing them. Within months, their jawbones began crumbling and falling out of their mouths. Tumors grew throughout their bodies, and their bones became so radioactive they glowed through their skin. Grace Fryer led a 5-year legal battle against Radium Corporation, but the company blamed other causes. Doctors removed entire sections of jaws. Holes were literally eaten through bones from the inside. Even decades after death, their bodies remained radioactive in their graves. Their horrific sacrifice wasn't in vain though. Their legal victory created the first occupational safety laws, protecting workers everywhere. Did you know one man killed over 500 Soviet soldiers in just 100 days using nothing but iron sights? In 1939, when the Soviet Union invaded Finland, a quiet farmer named Simo Häyhä picked up his rifle and became death itself. He wore pure white camouflage, blending perfectly into the frozen wilderness. The Soviets called him the White Death. Häyhä packed snow in his mouth so his breath wouldn't give away his position in the freezing cold. He refused to use scopes, relying only on iron sights to avoid any glint that might reveal him. The enemy became so terrified they sent counter-snipers, called in artillery strikes, and launched air raids targeting just one man. Nothing worked. He seemed to disappear into the winter itself. Then, an explosive bullet tore through half his face, shattering his jaw completely. But even with his face destroyed, he kept fighting. By war's end, this single farmer had 505 confirmed kills. One man's rifle nearly changed the entire course of a war. Did you know that in 1922, an entire family was murdered with their own farm tool, and the killer lived in their house for days afterward? The Gruber family lived on the remote Hinterkaifeck farm in Bavaria, Germany. In the weeks before their death, strange things began happening. Andreas Gruber found footprints in the snow leading to his farm, but none leading away. The family heard footsteps in the attic at night, and newspapers kept disappearing. On March 31st, all 6 family members vanished without a trace. Days later, neighbors found their bodies stacked like cordwood in the barn. Each had been killed with a mattock, their own farming tool. The maid's head was nearly cut off from the brutal blows. The killer had lured them to the barn one by one, striking them down. The youngest victim, 7-year-old Kazelia, lived for hours after the attack, clawing at the hay around her. Most disturbing of all, the murderer stayed in the house for days, feeding the animals and eating their food. Despite over 100 suspects and modern forensic analysis, this case remains unsolved after more than a century. Did you know that America's deadliest sniper was killed by the very person he was trying to save? Chris Kyle was a Texas cowboy who became a Navy SEAL and the most lethal sniper in US military history. With 160 confirmed kills during 4 tours in Iraq, he was a ghost in the urban warfare of Ramadi. His longest shot was over 2,100 yards, the bullet traveling through multiple insurgents with a single pull of the trigger. The enemy feared him so much they called him the Devil of Ramadi and placed an $8,000 bounty on his head. But Kyle's real battle was invisible, the psychological weight of every kill slowly crushing his mind. After returning home, he dedicated himself to helping fellow veterans struggling with PTSD. On February 2nd, 2013, he took Eddie Ray Ruth, a troubled Marine veteran, to a Texas shooting range for therapy. Instead of healing, Ruth turned the gun on Kyle, killing him instantly. The man who survived countless enemy bullets died trying to save a broken soldier's soul. Did you know that for 24 years, a man kept his own daughter locked in a basement dungeon just meters below his neighbor's feet? Josef Fritzl seemed like any ordinary Austrian family man in the quiet town of Amstetten. But beneath his house, he had built something horrific, a soundproof concrete bunker hidden behind 8 locked doors. In 1984, he lured his 18-year-old daughter, Elizabeth, downstairs and imprisoned her in this underground hell. For over 2 decades, she never saw sunlight. 7 children were born in that windowless prison. Fritzl convinced his wife and neighbors that Elizabeth had run away, even forging letters in her handwriting. The deception only cracked in 2008, when one of the captive children fell critically ill. He was forced to bring her to a hospital, where doctors grew suspicious. When police investigated, they discovered the unthinkable truth hiding beneath suburban normalcy. Fritzl received life in prison, but 24 years of unspeakable horror had already been lived in complete silence. Did you know a Harvard genius became America's most wanted terrorist using nothing but homemade bombs? Fyodor Kaczynski was a mathematical prodigy who entered Harvard at just 16 years old. By 25, he had earned his PhD and became the youngest professor at UC Berkeley. But at Harvard, he had unknowingly participated in brutal psychological experiments connected to the CIA's MK-Ultra program. Dr. Henry Murray subjected him to intense interrogations designed to break down his beliefs and identity. The brilliant mind that once solved complex equations slowly twisted into something darker. He abandoned his career and retreated to a tiny cabin in Montana with no electricity or running water. For 18 years, he mailed bombs to scientists and technology advocates across America. Each package was carefully crafted to maim or kill anyone who opened it. The FBI launched their longest and most expensive investigation ever, calling it Unabomber. His own brother recognized the writing style in his published manifesto and turned him in. The math genius had killed 3 people and injured 23 others in his war against modern technology. Did you know that 4 Navy SEALs faced over 200 Taliban fighters and nearly won? In June 2005, Danny Dietz and 3 other SEALs were dropped into Afghanistan's Hindu Kush mountains. Their mission was simple: find and capture a high-value Taliban commander. But when local goat herders stumbled upon their hidden position, everything changed. The team faced an impossible choice: kill innocent civilians or risk exposure. They chose honor and released the herders. Within hours, hundreds of Taliban fighters surrounded them on the mountainside. The firefight was brutal. Dietz took multiple gunshots to his chest and legs but kept fighting. Blood pouring from his wounds, he crawled to higher ground, desperately calling for rescue on his radio. When a rescue helicopter arrived, the Taliban shot it down, killing all 16 men aboard. Dietz fought for hours, protecting his wounded teammates until his final breath. Only Marcus Luttrell survived to tell the world about their sacrifice. 4 men against an army. They never surrendered. Did you know that Britain's most trusted family doctor was secretly murdering his patients for over 2 decades? Dr. Harold Shipman was beloved in Hyde, Manchester. Families praised his gentle bedside manner and dedication to house calls. But between 1975 and 1998, he was quietly killing those who trusted him most. His method was chillingly simple. During routine home visits, he would inject elderly patients with lethal doses of diamorphine. Then he would falsify their death certificates, listing natural causes. For years, nobody questioned the respected doctor, even as death rates in his practice soared far above normal. But taxi driver John Shaw became suspicious when his healthy mother died suddenly after Shipman's visit. Shaw discovered Shipman had forged his mother's will, leaving her entire estate to the doctor. The investigation revealed the horrifying truth. Over 250 patients had been murdered by the man they trusted with their lives. In 2000, Shipman was convicted, exposed as one of history's most prolific serial killers. A caring physician had become a predator in white coat. Did you know one sniper killed 225 enemies in a single battle and became the most feared man in World War II? Vasily Zaytsev was just a shepherd from the Ural Mountains before the war began. But when the Germans reached Stalingrad in 1942, this quiet farmer picked up a rifle and became death itself. He turned a ruined city into his hunting ground, moving through collapsed buildings like a ghost. German soldiers were too scared to show their heads during daylight. The enemy sent their best sniper, Major Koenig, to kill him. For 3 days, they hunted each other through the rubble. Zaytsev lay motionless for hours, waiting for one mistake, one glimpse of his target. On the third day, Koenig made that mistake. A single shot ended the duel. The German sniper school director was dead. Word spread through the Soviet lines like wildfire. If one man could terrorize the entire German army, maybe they could win this war after all. Stalingrad became the turning point of World War II. Did you know a serial killer once escaped from a courthouse by literally jumping out a window during his own trial? In 1977, Ted Bundy was representing himself in an Aspen, Colorado courtroom for murder charges. The charismatic law student had everyone fooled with his clean-cut appearance and legal knowledge. But what nobody knew was that he had been planning his escape for months. He lost 35 pounds just to squeeze through the ceiling crawl space of his jail cell. During a court recess, Bundy asked to visit the law library on the second floor. When the guard stepped away, he opened a window and jumped straight down into the alley below. For 6 days, he survived in the Colorado wilderness while hundreds of officers hunted him. Local residents locked their doors in terror, knowing a killer was loose in their mountains. He was finally caught, but escaped again from Glenwood Springs jail months later. This time, he made it to Florida, where he killed 3 more women. His escapes changed courthouse security forever across America. Did you know that America's most trusted FBI agent was secretly selling nuclear secrets to Russia for over 20 years? In February 2001, Robert Hanssen appeared to be the perfect patriot, hunting Russian spies for the FBI. But every Sunday, he would drive to Foxstone Park with a black trash bag filled with classified documents. For 22 years, he had been America's most dangerous double agent. He sold over 6,000 pages of top-secret intelligence to the Soviets for $1.4 million. The secrets he betrayed got 3 Russian agents working for America executed by their own government. He revealed the location of underground nuclear bunkers and the identities of dozens of American spies. On February 18, 2001, FBI agents watched him approach his usual dead drop location. As he placed another bag of secrets under a wooden bridge, his own colleagues surrounded him. The man who spent decades catching traitors was now the biggest traitor of all. His betrayal compromised America's most sensitive nuclear programs and cost countless lives. 22 years of perfect deception ended in handcuffs. Did you know that the chairman of NASDAQ stole $65 billion right under everyone's nose? In 2008, Bernie Madoff was Wall Street royalty. Celebrities, charities, and billionaires trusted him with their fortunes. His investment firm promised steady returns year after year, never losing money even when markets crashed. But it was all a lie, the biggest financial fraud in history. For decades, Madoff wasn't investing anyone's money. He was simply using new deposits to pay fake returns to existing clients. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, panicked investors demanded their money back. Money that didn't exist. On December 10, 2008, he finally cracked. He called his sons into his office and confessed everything. They immediately called the FBI. The next morning, agents arrested him at his Manhattan penthouse. Thousands of people lost their life savings overnight. Several victims killed themselves in despair. Even Madoff's own son couldn't handle the shame. Exactly 2 years later, he took his own life. One man's greed destroyed countless families, including his own. Did you know that diplomatic immunity once protected a killer who gunned down a police officer in broad daylight? On April 17, 1984, 25-year-old police constable Yvonne Fletcher was directing traffic outside the Libyan embassy in London. Anti-Gaddafi protesters had gathered for what seemed like a routine demonstration. Fletcher stood at her post, keeping the peace between diplomats and demonstrators. At exactly 10:18 in the morning, everything changed. Submachine gun fire erupted from the embassy's first-floor window. Bullets sprayed into the crowd of protesters and police officers below. Fletcher was struck in the abdomen while helping civilians reach safety. She collapsed on the pavement, blood pooling beneath her uniform. 40 minutes later, she was dead. Armed police surrounded the embassy for 11 days, but the Libyan diplomats claimed diplomatic immunity. The killer walked free, protected by international law. Britain severed all relations with Libya, but justice never came. One woman's murder exposed how diplomatic immunity could shield the guilty.